Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining again. Welcome, welcome. And if you are new here, this is Empowerment Network with Comfort Comfort. Today, again, Jeffrey and Andy are here. Join me to discuss the topic: why is it important for us to own our own wallet? Jeffrey, welcome.
Hey, welcome to you guys too. It's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I needed something to do this afternoon.
Yeah, no. So, Mr. Butts, hello.
Happy Wednesday. What a day. We didn't get rain today. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't get rain, but it's freezing cold. Anyway, but there was sunshine, so that's enough. So,
Exactly.
so Jeffrey, where do you want to go from here? Why? What's the significance of us holding our own electronic wallet? What is it all about, though? Let's just discuss. Thank you.
Oh, it's all about loving technology, man. It's all about getting the good stuff out, right? Um, Digital wallets, also known as an e-wallet, right? It's an electronic payment system that allows users to store and manage financial information like your credit card information, debit cards, and even currencies, right? Your cryptos and stuff digitally, right? Storing them. And these wallets are actually revolutionizing the way that we make transactions and transactions happen on the internet online. Right now, to set up a digital wallet, you need a few things. Obviously, you got to download a wallet app. You got to create an account. You got to add a payment method like your credit card or bank account or something. Some popular wallets include like Apple Pay, Google Pay, obviously, Samsung Pay. I guess they like that word pay. But the reason that you want a digital wallet, why we want to use digital wallets is number one, they're really convenient, right? A digital wallet allows us to store and access our payment information, IDs, and other important documents all in one place. Because digital wallets, by the way, they're not only for money. You could also put other things in them, but most people use them for crypto. It makes it a lot easier to complete transactions and to access all sorts of services online. Another reason that we want to have these is because of the security. A very, very big deal when you come to cyberspace is cybersecurity. Digital wallets they use an advanced encryption and security measures to protect our data, our personal financial information, and that causes a reduction, if you will, in the risk of fraud and data breaches and hacks and stuff like that. Another reason that we want these is because they're very, very efficient. Digital wallets let us do very fast, seamless transactions, and they eliminate the need to enter payment information like repeatedly over and over and over. Once you put it in there, I mean, it's really easy to mess with as far as being able to open it up. You don't have to re-enter, and if you ever saw the keys for those things, I mean, they're whopping keys, and you don't want to have to re-type in those or platting them all over the place. Another reason would be privacy. They allow us to control personal information, choosing when and how to share it. Also, digital wallets tracking. They give us transaction histories, insights, spending insights, help us stay on top of financials. I mean, overall, digital wallets help us, I guess, to simplify and secure our digital lives, kind of, and it makes it a lot easier to manage the things that we do online, transactions, and the personal information that we use while we're doing that. Back to you.
All right, thank you, and of course, I pass it over to Andy.
Jeffrey said it all. Thanks, Jeffrey.
I know. So the
No,
Oh,
show
no,
is ended.
I just said why we wanted them. There's
yeah,
lots of them.
absolutely. No, I'm going to come at it from a different angle, actually,
Okay,
because
now.
having a private digital wallet allows us to hold private digital currency. Okay. There's a lot of talk about what they call CBDC, which is central bank digital currency. Yeah, exactly. Now, there's a reason why it's important for us to not hold central bank digital currency and have our own wallets in outside of that system. There is every single transaction that is made is traceable. So if you've got a central bank digital wallet, then the government can trace everything that you do, every single payment that you do. And the problem is that if they decide that we've got climate problems and you can't travel more than 200 miles, you got to fill up your car, you try to use your digital, your central bank digital currency, and they go, sorry, can't use that. How are you going to pay for it? So if you've got something outside of the system, which is what this will be, it is an independent system, not a central bank digital system. So that alone is probably the most important aspect of holding, a digital wallet of our own. Back to you, Comfort.
All right, thank you. So I think let me start from you back again, Andy. So we are talking about a digital wallet today, guys, because we've got one as for all of us who are in the ecosystem, who should know we've got our own wallet. So is it just there to facilitate these transactions, or is it one of the products in the ecosystem, Andy?
Well, let's put it this way. We know, for instance, Omart, Market, whatever he decides to call it in the end, is going to come into the ecosystem. That will allow us to be able to buy goods online using our ONPASSIVE wallet. Okay, it doesn't have to go back to the bank and then from the bank to the merchant that you're buying from. Yeah, so it's going to streamline the system completely, and it is not a bank account. Don't get me wrong, but we already know that there will be cards that we can link to it, so that you can use a prepaid Visa or MasterCard. Yeah, but there are certain countries that can't use Visa or MasterCard. So prepaid cards in various different locations are an ideal thing to link to your own wallet. But the beauty of it is from our point of view that once we've got this system where we've got other customers on board that offer different products, we will be able to instantaneously move money from our wallet across to their wallet to purchase a product. You gone quiet?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. So if I get to our wallet is there. If I get to where, does it mean that it's only going to be used by us, or we can use it to do any other thing apart from the transactions within the ecosystem?
Listen, it is not a bank account, as I've said before.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to link it to a bank account. But at some point in the future, we're going to have a system, or be able to have a system in place that actually allows us to transfer from wallet to wallet, based on the fact that I'm purchasing something from that. So let expand that out to a company base. Now, we know in Dubai, for instance, they're already starting to allow purchases in using crypto. Yeah, crypto coins and crypto. So if you have an ONPASSIVE wallet and you're holding an amount of money in that wallet, you can say to the guy, right, I want to buy this car. I want to switch it or move it straight across to you. I have a wallet with ONPASSIVE. If you set that wallet up with ONPASSIVE, doesn't take much. You've got access to millions more customers. Would you like to do that? Now, that's a great way in, but at the end of the day, now I can simply transfer my money from my wallet in ONPASSIVE in the ecosystem across to his wallet or his company wallet in the ecosystem. I've purchased the product, but it hasn't gone to a bank, it hasn't had to go through a middleman, it hasn't had the additional costs involved, etc. So it streamlines the system. Now, if there are costs involved, then it means, from my point of view, if I've taken this guy on board to use to use the ecosystem wallet that ONPASSIVE has, because of the vast number of customers that we've got, then perhaps we might earn a small commission out of it. Well, that's an even better opportunity. So now I can buy things from these guys, but I can also earn by taking on merchants to be able to do it, and it simply goes into our wallet. So yeah, there's lots of different benefits. Jeffrey's covered an awful lot with securities and aspects as well. But if you look at the other side of the coin, if you like, no pun intended, then you've got other options which can it theoretically at this stage, because we don't know the full details, so this is guesswork, guys, but theoretically, if I take on a merchant and say, listen, you need the ONPASSIVE wallet, and by the way, you sign up for ONPASSIVE, blah blah blah, now he's my customer. If he's got millions of transactions going through because millions of customers are now buying his products, I might get 0.00 of a penny for every transaction he does. But if he's making millions, that's extra commission. It's just another string to the bow. But it streamlines everything and gives the seller access to millions more customers because of the ecosystem that we have. And bearing in mind, we've got over 3 million customers at the moment. We've got 1 million that are just over 1 million that are paid customers. So these have bought or purchased a product right now. Yeah, so that's access to 1 million customers. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks so much. So Jeffrey, Andy has said a few stuff, so I don't know whether you want to comment or add anything new at all. I'll just leave it open for you, please.
Well, yeah, we could probably talk about some other things too. I mean, obviously, there's a couple of things, Andy, that you mentioned. First and foremost, I agree with you. When you're talking about the central bank currencies, the big thing there is control, massive control. I mean, they can limit you or they can stop you coding your tracks, and that's not decentralized at all. That's not in the that's not in the spirit of crypto, in my opinion. Also, at the end of the day, as you're fond of saying, the e-wallet within ONPASSIVE is ONPASSIVE's e-wallet, and it's for use with ONPASSIVE and everything ONPASSIVE. All that is ONPASSIVE, and it will allow you to do anything from within ONPASSIVE and transfer from within to and fro ONPASSIVE in and then out of ONPASSIVE into a banking or a reserve kind of a fiat situation. So, I mean, life is pretty good. There's some things that we might want to take a look at with some of the features and functionalities of digital wallets in particular. I mean, obviously, you've got payment storage where we can store multiple payment methods like credit cards and bank accounts. Contactless payments, that's become a huge thing where users can make transactions without physically contacting between physical devices. So you just type it in and it virtually goes to and fro. Online payments, I mean, obviously that's big, that's huge. We are an AI IT company. Where would we be if we didn't have our own digital wallet? And that helps us to secure online transactions. You can also do, as you were saying, this can be a personal wallet, so you can do person-to-person payments. And with ONPASSIVE specifically, I think you also mentioned, Andy, that we're talking at some point, we will be able to perhaps go from one holding tank within a wallet to another person's wallet within ONPASSIVE. I'm not real sure about how regulation is going to view that, but that certainly is an option, I would imagine. At the very least, you'll be able to take some of the commissions you earn and move those into a payment wallet so that you can pay subscriptions with it. But again, I don't know how regulatory that context with regulation, how that works out. So we'll let them figure it all, I guess.
Sorry, go on, Jeffrey.
No, I was going to say some folks, and I would imagine that we're going to have these too. Some folks even have reward or loyalty programs that can track and store rewards. I mean, we've seen in there that, you know, he's given us O-coins and bonuses and stuff like that. So I would imagine that that's going to be in there too. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, from a regulatory point of view, again, this is guesswork based on logic. Okay, so well, logic dictates to me that once we've got a verify clear, so everybody has proven who they are, where they live, and who they are, then from there, that then allows you to transfer money between people. Now, it may not be set up right now, but it's possibly be there in the future for exactly the purpose of being able to send money to a merchant, to another, a seller of some object or another, some physical or digital other product that might come out from a customer's point of view, but also be able to transfer to things like Bless, so it's likely that will happen. What you have to take into consideration are the tax elements first of all, but also the anti-money laundering regulations. So if they can abide by those two, then there is no reason why they can't be able to do that, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So I believe it's going to be possible, but not right now. We've got to go through this verification process.
Okay. That's interesting. I know Angie has just mentioned this. Jeffrey, I don't know if that's something you would also like to comment on it, on the significance of going through the verification process before using the wallet, or do you have some other things so that we gradually start rounding up?
Well, there's a lot of things with the wallet. The verification process, that is a separate process. Like you had said, Andy, that's with ONPASSIVE. We're going to be using our own platform, our own application called O-Verify. It's my understanding that will also, I believe, again, my understanding, O-Verify will be also a product that will be made available commercially, and for sale. So not only will we be using it within the platform, but it'll be external to us as well. When we look at that sort of thing, and then when you look at the wallet and you look at how the wallet is connected and digitally like hooked onto online platforms, that could be an interesting thing, because we're always talking about API integration. Digital wallets are done that way as well, where they're integrated with those types of things, where they're integrated onto online platforms through APIs, which are application programming interfaces. And that's the process of connecting two or more systems, which they'll also connect O-Verify. So again, you're getting into systems that work together, which is absolutely wonderful. We also know that we're working on our own payment gateway, and digital wallets actually partner with payment gateways like PayPal or Stripe or Square. So our digital wallet is going to be partnering with ONPASSIVE's digital or gateway payments, right? And the gateway payment is it's a critical component of digital wallets that give us that seamless transaction by connecting the wallets and such to payment networks and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's another thing. One thing that I is also you hear a lot about, I think, is what's called tokenization. And digital wallets use tokenization to replace sensitive payment information with unique tokens. We do that. We've got OCoin, right? That's our token. And this is making online transactions a lot more secure. Now, tokenization in context of digital wallets is the process of replacing that sensitive information like credit card numbers, bank details, those sorts of things, with a unique token identifier. And that token is then stored in the digital wallet instead of the actual payment stuff. Another thing about this, which I fully expect to be implemented within a wallet, because Mr. Mufarez talked about this before, is biometrics and other forms of authentications. And this is going right in with your question when you're saying, what about verification, right? Some digital wallets use biometric authorizations or authentications like facial recognition, fingerprint recognition. And these things enhance, right? They beef up the security and they simplify the online transaction. In the context of digital wallets, this sort of authentication refers to the use of unique physical or behavioral characteristics to identify somebody's identity instead of traditional passwords like PINs, for example, right? Instead, you might use voice recognition or iris scanning, even heart rate analysis some folks are using. So using that provides an additional layer, a rather good additional layer. And another thing that we hear about that we know we're going to be connected to is obviously cloud connectivity. Cloud-based digital wallets synchronize data across devices, and cloud connectivity in context with digital wallets refers to the ability of a digital wallet to store and access data like that, payment information, transaction history, personal settings, all that stuff on the remote cloud servers. Obviously, ONPASSIVE, again, there's the hero with our own data centers, our own cloud services. So, I mean, life is going to be good for us, and we can certainly bet that the ONPASSIVE wallet is going to be a premier wallet, and it's going to be at the top of the heap, so to speak. Back to you guys.
Wow, cool. Thank you. Thanks, Jeffrey. So, Andy, I'll just let you go. Jeffrey again has thrown out a few
Sure.
nuggets out there. So
Well,
let's
yeah,
make
a
this.
couple of other things that we can probably add. I mean, it's a long way off yet, but you know, just think if we were to have our own digital coins. We've got OCoin right now, but what if it actually turned into a super regulated coin? That would be fantastic. But I mean, this system it is a worldwide system. The thing that isn't worldwide quite now is are things like the regulation, because the regulation differs dramatically from India than it does in the US. Yeah. So what part of the issue could be for the company is how do we make it universal across all countries that everybody's happy with? Once they've got that solution, then things start to change anyway. And as you say, the beauty of it is that it is a non-centralized digital currency. But if you had OCoin as a cryptocurrency and the value of that started to rise based on the value of the company, wow. So we get double bubble. Not only have we got OCoin in the wallet, but that value of OCoin could rise. So based on the value of the company. So, I mean, again, this is hearsay at the moment, but it's a possibility. And having that digital wallet and having the blockchain being integrated and set up to do that, then it's something that may well happen in the future. So, and it could be around the corner. Who knows? I mean, you just never know with these things, and the way ONPASSIVE is moving forward with all the other various products that are ready to go. It could be, you know, this year. I don't know. As I said, that's a total guess. But I love the security aspect of it, and I love the fact that we could well have our own cryptocurrency at some point. But it's a case of being able to link that to various things, and certainly for the Indian market, it's more difficult to transfer to a bank account. So they'd be getting a credit card like a Visa or a MasterCard that would link to the ONPASSIVE wallet and be able to give them the facility to you know, put credit onto that card for them to then spend, rather than have to put it through a bank in India and have, you know, well, exorbitant charges being deducted, no doubt, like most banks do.
Wow, the last point sounds like back in my country too, because people have these difficulties. I just hope that this is something that's going to be really of much help in those kind of places. So, Jeffrey, last remark.
Wow, it's going to be a short program today, huh?
No, we go on and on though. I'm happy if we can still go on. So
no, you'd said last remark, and I thought, oh wow.
No, go ahead.
I mean, there's we could keep on talking, but you were talking about just a minute ago about what was the last thing you just said about something going on there? Concerns?
Yeah, Andy said in India sometimes it could be difficult transferring money to bank because it takes a lot of charges and stuff. But then with the wallet and stuff, it's going to make it much easier. Is that what you said, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that though, Jeffrey. So as it stands at the moment, we've got this massive currency fluctuation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you've got OCoin, which is dollar based, and you put dollar onto a card, it makes life easier for Indians to spend dollars rather than rupees.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Now look, the currencies are likely to change this year. We're going to go into why, but things are likely to change because obviously with what's happening with BRICS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it could be that because the dollar might be taken off, it might be linked against something else. Who knows? We've got that capability. That's the beauty of having an O coin.
Okay. All right. In view, in light of what you were just talking about, we might want to talk about then some of the technologies that digital wallets rely on. And I don't think that a lot of the problems that folks, or even some of maybe the insecurities that people have about this technology are going to come to life too badly, because digital wallets rely on a lot of different combinations of technologies to function, right? I mean, one of them is secure elements, which is a tamper-proof chip system, right? It stores sensitive information, such as encryption keys and payment data and stuff like that. There's also what's called near-field communication, and this actually enables communication between devices when they're in close proximity. That, again, that helps us with contactless payments, and it stops us from entering data and maybe screwing up whatever, putting wrong stuff in. Technology, again, like mentioned earlier, cloud computing, it allows data wallets to store and process data remotely, ensuring scalability and accessibility. We've got encryption. These encryption techniques like tokenization, which we talked about, and something called elliptic curve cryptography. They protect the data for users and the user's transactions, and obviously the biometric authorizations and authentications. All of these things point to where we're headed in the future as far as digital wallets and the technology go. So I think it's a very stable, very, very scalable, and it's going to be very secure, very secure. So I don't see it being too much of a problem, although that's if it stays private and decentralized, and we have these decentralized networks with blockchain. I don't have a lot of faith in governments making their own and trying to control it.
Me neither.
Okay, thank you. So,
I mean, it's what we have at the moment was we have a system where we're using a third party in the form of a merchant, right? And that merchant controls the flow of income and outgoing. Now, we obviously on passive, unbeknownst to ONPASSIVE, that merchant wasn't perhaps set up to be able to deal with the massive influx of money coming in and going out. So, for us to be able to withdraw our O coins, we're stuck with the merchant side of things at this precise moment in time. Now, once that's clear, great, no problem. It will simply be cash in, cash out. Yeah, and each O coin, as we know, is worth $1. So one O coin is the equivalent of $1. But once the system is put in place, we become our own merchant. So we get rid of that middleman entirely.
Yep.
Yeah. So once you've got that in place, ONPASSIVE makes a payment, it goes straight to your wallet. You then withdraw your wallet straight to wherever, your bank account or the credit prepaid card or whatever. It's not there today because we've still got a problem with the merchant, and until that is resolved, we can't get all of these thousands of customers that are waiting in the wings to come on board and use OConnect as the first paid product. Because what's the point if you have a system that won't allow a customer to make a payment for a product? What's the point in opening it out to the world? So, but that is coming. And, one of the questions on here was, how can I cash out my O coins? Well, once the merchant system is resolved, great, no problem at all. You'd just be able to transfer or have it transferred straight across to your bank account.
But you know what, Andy? It is perfectly right to say that wallet that we've got, it's been tried, it's been used, it works just fine. We've processed some crypto payments through it, so And we know it's just going to be better when it finally comes online for everything.
Absolutely. You know, it's not this. The issue is not our end.
Right.
Yeah, it is not our end. So our system is robust and sorted. It's simply a case of getting that merchant sorted. But going forward or moving forward, the plan is to be able to take everything we have in house, and therefore there's no need for a middleman. That would be phenomenal if we could get to that point. For the time being, we're not there, and therefore we have to use these merchant services.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds very promising. What can be better than a self-contained house? So that's what we're working to.
Well, you know,
If you
Mr.
think about-
Mufaro was talking about that back in 2019 when they halfway through 2019 when they finally came out and said, you know what, we're moving away from marketing, and we have become we got a brand new direction. We've upped the ante, so to speak, and we're going to go from marketing to AI IT. And the first thing on the table we need to do is create our own AI and some other technologies, because they don't exist. To do what we want to do, we can't do. So we've got to create what we need to do. That's back then. He was even saying, we don't want third-party players. We don't want anybody in here. We don't want old stuff and build on it. We're going to create everything from scratch. We're going to own every bit of it. We're going to know every bit of it. And we're going to build the core so that the core is continually updated. So we don't literally everything surrounding it, the platform itself is the core, and everything around it will be plug and play. So whenever they want to update, for instance, OConnect, then they'll update OConnect, pull the old one out, put the new one in. But actually, I mean, I'm simplifying it. Obviously, they're going to do it, and they'll just bloop, bloop, swap it out, and you put the fix in place. You'll never even know it. It'll never even hiccup. So it's not like these folks that have taken their old stuff and now they're doing a backstroke trying to make it comply with all the new stuff that's coming out. That's not what we're doing. Same thing with the wallet, same thing with everything else. And you're absolutely right. We don't want to be going out of house for anything. We want to be a one-stop shop, fully self-contained. And I think I'm going to stop right there. Go back to you.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Can I make a point here, Comfort? Because the question came up.
Oh.
My understanding, we eventually have our own debit card. No, it's not a debit card as such. It is a prepaid card. You load the card up, so you could put $1,000 on the card. You therefore have $1,000 on that card to be able to spend. It is not a debit card. Please don't. There are two totally different things here. It's not a debit card; it's a prepaid card. But Jeffrey's made a very good point here, because if you have everything in house, what do we need from anyone else?
Nada.
Right, and if we don't need anything from anyone else, who else can affect us?
Nobody.
Exactly. So when you have not only the products for yourself, you've got the access to all of the systems under one roof, single sign-on. You've got the database side of things. You've got the banking side of things, and all of the other components fitting together. And potentially in the future, things like physical products will come online as well. Then you've got a total, what's the word? Ecosystem of its own. That's quite cool. Links in with the ecosystem we got.
Wow.
But then nothing can affect us from outside, and it doesn't matter who's trying what and it's irrelevant. We're our own enclosed sphere, and no one can touch us.
And you know what? That's going to work better for everybody, because now we're not dealing with third-party people. We're not dealing with anybody else trying to get their fingers in the pie or to mess with the software or do anything else. We control every bit of it, and we can update it on the fly or as we wish, or do whatever we want without having to worry about somebody else being in the mix and not agreeing or somebody getting greedy, whatever. It's going to work better for everybody.
That's where the shareholder bit comes in. We don't have shareholders. We don't need you. Go away.
Mr. Mufaro said a long time ago they will never, ever, ever go public with ONPASSIVE. But, you know, he's had people offer to buy it already. So
I don't doubt that for one moment. But it's the greedy shareholders that have changed the system that we currently have. into one that is a monopoly side of things, and that's just wrong anyway.
Well, and I agree. But in lieu of everything, I mean, I am loving when you take a holistic picture of OnPassive. I am loving the way that it's shaping up. I mean, okay, yeah, there's been a little frustration and some challenges. A lot more on Ash's part than ours. I mean, he's really had his fingers in it, so to speak, with all the challenges that other folks have brought to us and that OnPassive has had to deal with. But all in all, I think we are still well ahead of the market. And as far as digital wallets are concerned, there are, just like with anything else, some future expectations, right? I mean, increased security is one of them. Digital wallets are going to have increased security measures that are continually protecting users, i.e. us, right? Our information and transactions. We're going to have a lot more innovation because they're being developed with more innovative features, like the ability to set their own rules and limits on spending and stuff like that. We're going to be able to focus more on data ethics. OnPassive has talked about ethics, about writing our own guidelines for ethics, using ethics in the AI, all of this stuff. Global expansion, I mean, we're there. More use of AI, we're already there. More focus on customer experience. I mean, we're already a conscious business heading into Industry 5.0, where the human component is central to everything. So, I mean, we're way ahead. Man, you just got to love where we're at. I do.
Absolutely, I'm with you, Jeffrey. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those situations where a lot of what we said today, guys, by the way, this is logical guesswork. Right? None of this is set in stone. Right? None of this. What we're saying is that from what we've heard so far, year to date or since we joined, this is the logical progression of where it's expected to go. Now we're talking about the wallet. The wallet is already in place. Okay. What I've said earlier on was that these wallets may allow us to send money wallet to wallet. It's not there yet. Now, my logic tells me that's purely down to regulation, because one of the guys has asked, how do you know this lot is going to happen? Well, we don't. What we're saying is it is a logical progression. We know from what Mr. Ash has already told us that this is what they want to do. Yeah. But if they do that, then this is what it means to everybody. And this is where it gets exciting, as Jeffrey's quite rightly pointed out.
I just like how John White, welcome John, how he's playing with words here. That is why these technology companies that have gone by way of selling stock are all stuck to their infrastructure and cannot change. That's
Absolutely.
so true, isn't it? We are more dynamic because we don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Think about this again from a logical point of view, Comfort. If you've got a company that has, sold shares on the stock market, every stockholder is interested in making a profit because the value of their share goes up, right? And no one wants to buy shares if the value of the share stays stagnant and doesn't make them any money. Now, if you've got a FTSE 100 company, then you should get what they class as a dividend, a small percentage each and every year, based on the fact that that company has a value to it, and we're going to pay part of that profit back out. Right? If we don't have any of that, we're not beholden to what they can turn around and tell us to do. Whereas with the other companies, a lot of the shareholders actually have a say in what happens to the company. Yeah, and what you've seen in the past is you've seen companies where the shareholders have voted for the original owner of the company to leave.
Yeah.
It happens. It does
oh,
happen.
wow.
Yeah, and also where they go, hold on a second, the shares are currently valued at $10, and you own 50%, and I own 50%, and or 49%, and there's one of the guys that's got 1%. What we're going to do is we're going to increase the number of shares available by tenfold. Now this guy that had 1% has got next to nothing. Now it's another way of getting people out of the way, and they did that with Facebook. So it's not, these are nasty practices, and this is not something that ONPASSIVE is never going to do, because we're never going to be in that position. And that is a key component of why guys like us are so excited.
You brought something up a little bit ago. You kept throwing it out. You talking about logically. Logically, we can look at logically. It's not just logically. I mean, we've got precedent. Precedent has already been set in that if you look, specifically if you just look at ONPASSIVE, where we were and where we are, and every step of the way, look at the trajectory. I mean, it's not hard to see where we're going. And we talked about where we're going. I've talked about it a lot here today. If you look at the industries and the markets and even global economics on every touch point that we've had today, anything to do with AI and IT especially, you can see where we're going. And you can see that ONPASSIVE is already in that future. We're already ahead of the curve, so to speak. So that precedent's been set. It's not just us saying, I think this is where it is. This is us saying, look at what has happened, look at where we're headed, and looking at these two, you can guess where we're going, and we're already there too. So life is good.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So guys, I think you've thrown a lot of nuggets here, and it's giving me idea for a few more topics. So you'll be coming back quite often to clear up a few things that you provoke here today. I'm just very excited. Thank you. And I think our family in the house, they also enjoyed the discussion. We could see from their comments. So maybe you have one quick last word, or is that it? I'm fine.
That's cool. We're done.
Jeffrey?
Well, I'll just kind of, digital wallets. I mean, they're really, really important. And we've got a humdinger as they go, or we will have by the time it comes out. Digital wallets have actually transformed the way that we conduct online transactions, period. I mean, they offer convenience, security, flexibility, right? The underlying technologies, they include things like secure elements, the NFC, cloud computing, encryptions, biometric authentications. They all work together seamlessly. It's a reliable payment experience for everybody. And as the technology evolves, just like ONPASSIVE continues to evolve, digital wallets are poised to play a very prominent role in how we transact our daily lives, just like ONPASSIVE is. So life is good. I mean, hang on to your hats, guys. We're almost there.
Sure. Life is good indeed. So guys, we are just blessed to be part of this. And of course, like I say, things will never be the same again. Thank you guys for always being there to have these chats. Thank you too for always joining us, guys. Those in the comment section. See you again really soon. I think tomorrow we have a meeting. We have 360 tomorrow at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or Daylight Time. Just change it to your own time and see you there tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye.